Hello, greetings, and hello. I'm Teacher Delightin. Some of you have been watching me since 2008. I was just talking to a friend of mine about this, about the old days when I used to make videos about game ideas and my Blizzard hoaxes and stuff like that. And today is one of those days where, some of you may know me as an idea man. That's kind of my special ability, is to come up with ideas for things. And I've been watching some Hearthstone videos, and I've been thinking I want to play a new Blizzard game, but not anything that exists right now. So I want something totally new, but kind of like Blizzard. So I was just thinking, and I came up with this epiphany, and it's been sitting here for like the last hour, just staring at like a map of World of Warcraft. I haven't played it in forever, and like everything's changed. I don't really know much about it. I kind of ended at Burning Legion. I never played the Northrend stuff. I never played Cataclysm. I never played Mist of Pandaria, and now Worlds of Draenor is coming out, right? And I happen to have Heroes of the Storm. Yes, I have the Heroes of the Storm beta. I got into that somehow. I don't know. I didn't really like it because I don't like MOBAs. But so I was thinking. I was looking at the World of Warcraft map, and I was thinking maybe I should play Starcraft 2 because I haven't played Starcraft 2 much, and it's a Blizzard game. But then I had this idea, this epiphany that came to me, and this is a lot like my Diablo 3 hoax video where I just started making shit up for 4 videos. Because back when I made my hoax video, they probably had somebody see that and thought, man, this guy probably should work here, he deserves a job, but they didn't listen to him, or that guy didn't speak up. But if the multiverse theory holds true, there is a universe where that did happen, and then this is the game that people in like several other universes will be playing right now. We could be playing it, but we're in the universe where Blizzard did not listen to T2, and now we're stuck with Hearthstone. This is just why I should have worked for Blizzard. Like, what if there was a world of Starcraft, right? Like a first-person shooter MMO, or maybe a mix between an MMORPG and an MMOFPS, something like that, right? Using the Starcraft universe, which, if you have Heroes of the Storm, you've seen like they exist in the same universe as the Warcraft universe. So Starcraft, Warcraft, and Diablo all exist in the same universe. So that got me thinking. Let's say something happened in World of Warcraft. Because this Draenor expansion is coming out. I don't know what it's about. I have no idea. But I know like Draenor, the Outlands, is like this floating remnants of this planet that used to be Draenor, right? So that's where the orcs come from, and maybe like the ogres. The ogres and the orcs all come from Draenor, right? Alright, so this will take place in the future, where something happens in StarCraft. Maybe they get the Zerg in a place where they can almost kill off the Zerg, but they can't because they keep regenerating and Zerging so much, so they put them in the ocean in some kind of volcanic vent. So the lava from the volcanic vents constantly kills them as fast as they regenerate, and they kind of keep them down there. But they don't know that it's actually one of those wormholes like Pacific Rim, and it teleports the Zerg to Azeroth. And they come out of the Maelstrom, which is in the ocean, and then they spread across Azeroth, and the Zerg start wreaking havoc and Zerging things. So I was looking on this map, and there's actually a thing that I didn't know about. Because if you go into the Maelstrom, it takes you to this place called Deepholm, where there's like this Temple of the Earth. So I guess, can you come out of the Temple of the Earth? Does it go anywhere? I don't know. But like, that was my idea. The Zerg come out of the Maelstrom and they start flooding Azeroth. So, some reason in the future, the Terrans, which aren't really human, they're Terran, but they're kind of human. So, we find out that their ancestors were the humans that lived on Azeroth. But the Horde won the big faction war between the Alliance and the Horde. The Horde won. They killed off all the humans on the whole planet. They're all gone. The dwarves and the gnomes and the elves all go into hiding. The dwarves, they go into Ironforge, they go into Oldham, they go into, is there one in like the Northrend area maybe? Maybe Grim Batol, some of those places. They just tore themselves up, or they hold themselves up in this, their fortresses, and they just lock the doors. They Willy Wonka that shit, right? So they're there, and you see smoke coming out of their pipes and wherever their smokestacks. So they know they're there, but nobody sees them for years. They're just gone, right? So the elves, they all go into their world tree and their Teldrassil tree, and they just stay up there and they get rid of all their portals that take them up to the top, so nobody get to the top. Well, I guess you have flying mounts now. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But they kill off all the flying mounts and anything that flies. I don't know. Okay, so the elves and the dwarves and the gnomes all hold themselves up. Gnomes go to Gnomeregan, dwarves go into their fortresses. But the elves, no, not the elves, the dwarves and the gnomes, they start digging tunnels because that's what they like to do. So the gnomes and the dwarves, they kind of make connecting tunnels to Gnomergon, to Ironforge, and it goes under the ground, and they all like meet up, and they have like an underground dwarven city under the ground. But the Silithids, which also like to tunnel under the ground, they're like their new nemesis. Instead of being the greenskins, you know, the orcs and stuff the dwarves hate, now it's these Silithid bugs. They're always like getting into their tunnels, fucking up their ore nodes and shit with their slimy goo. So the orcs and the gnomes are really good at fighting the Silithids. So what did I say with the humans were the ancestors of the Terran? Did I say that? I was going to say that. So we found out the Terrans are the predecessors of the humans that all died out. So some humans got away on like some Draenei ships or something, and they traveled through space and they expanded and they got away from the planet before they wiped out, right? So then Terrans come back to Azeroth. I don't know why. I hadn't figured out why they would do that yet. But they have to crash land, or they could just land. But they don't go to Azeroth first. No. They find Outland first. And then they're like, what are these orc things we've never seen before? Because they don't remember, because this is way into the future, right? And in the future, the orcs all left Azeroth completely. They all went back to their homelands and, what was it called? Nagrand, I guess. Is it Nagrand? I don't know. Whatever, they go to their planet. So the orcs and the ogres are all on this one planet. And maybe some dragons. So you start out, if you're playing World of Starcraft, and you're playing Terran, you start out on Draenor, which is usually like the end level stuff when you're playing World of Warcraft. Now it's the starting zone, because we're going backwards. Right? Because when you get to Azeroth, that's where the heavy shit's going to be. So if you're playing Protoss, the Draenei is the ancestors of the Protoss. Boom! Zergs, Silithids, Draenei, Protoss, humans, Terrans. They're all ancestors of each other. I just discovered something. This has got to happen. I just spoiled the whole Blizzard universe for you if you didn't know this. This has got to be how it all connects in the end, right? I don't know what the orcs are the ancestors of. Just newer orcs. So, once you go through the Burning Legions area or whatever, the Outland with your humans, and then, wait, I think the Protoss should come through some kind of a portal, like they're experimenting with portal technology, and they come through the dark portal, and it causes some rift or something. Maybe their spaceship gets stuck in it or something, and like nobody can get in or out because the spaceship's in the hole, something like that. And the Protoss, that's their reason for being there. Terrans, I don't know why. Maybe they were chasing the Protoss or something. They were trying to like take over the galaxy, and they're the only ones left because they got rid of the Zerg, they thought. But no, the Zerg are actually still alive and plentiful on Azeroth, causing havocs, flying out of their portals and whatnots. Now, I was looking at this map, and there's a lot of new shit that I don't know anything about. There's these southern isles where the trolls and the goblins would all have gone to, right? And the pandas. Maybe the pandas and the furbolgs are kind of like ancestors of each other, but they both exist at the same time, so I'm not really sure about that. But here's what I think would be cool. Once you get to Azeroth, I'm not even sure if like this would be like a multiple thing. Like maybe the World of Starcraft people are one faction and the World of Warcraft people are another faction. And like the Warcraft factions all team up against the Starcraft factions. It's like the old versus the new. Or you could do like all of the factions co-op, but they all kind of fight each other over different territorial disputes, because they're all fighting against the Zerg and the dragons. Like I'm thinking, you got the Eastern Kingdoms, where the humans are all wiped out. That's all been taken over by the Forsaken. So it's all spooky, spooky skeletons. Like you got the Swamp of Sorrows place, it's already kind of spooky. Duskwood's already kind of spooky. You got the Plague Lands, which is already kind of spooky skeleton stuff. Undercity, Tearsfall, and the Wolf place. It's all pretty much undead already. So it just like spreads. I don't know about the Kel'Thalas elves, if they could even hold up in that. Maybe they all just died out. Because elves suck anyway, fuck them. Maybe they all live on a giant boat. I'm just throwing shit out there. Because this is what I've been thinking about the last hour. I just keep thinking of ideas. Like, this is getting kind of nuts. So, there's this whole area southwest of the Blasted Lands. I don't even know what that is. That's new. There's Oldham I've never seen, which is cool as shit. So I'm thinking, okay, the Eastern Kingdom is all dead, undead stuff. Which is like, kind of like you die, but you have a second chance at life. So it's not really death. It's kind of like second chance kind of place. And you got the Pirate Seas, and then on the Kalimdor, all the orcs have left Kalimdor. So Orgrimmar is now run by the Tarn. The Tarn are like the master race of the Kalimdor, and the Barons are no longer Baron. They've been spreading seeds of democracy, and Gibraltar's all like, it all looks like Ashenvale now, and the really green parts of like Mulgore and Feralis. It's all like a big jungle. Maybe the ogres that didn't go to the place all like went to Dire Maul, and they have like a huge ogre city, and they went to like Desolus, and like the ogres are all around in there. I'm thinking the Kalimdor side could be like, at least the southern part, are like huge giant creatures, because you know where like in Silithus there's these bones of Grakons and stuff, and these giant skeletal remains of creatures and Desolus and stuff. Kodos, just giant beasts. Like the Ungaro crater is kind of like weird growing stuff happening there, like seeds and things, and that weird Ungaro soil that causes things to grow really huge, like King Crush. It's like the whole western side has giant creatures roaming around you could just wander into. But you have guns and stuff now, so it's not that big of a threat, but it's cool as shit looking. And then the dwarves that live in Oldham, every now and then they'll send out like some giant stone statue kind of thing, like an ancient watcher or something. They'll start beating on some giant wind serpent. I don't know, something like anything giant size that walks around. They'll send out their things and they'll beat on it. And then they had like giant battlements maybe they've been building and stuff to shoot things down. Dragons, okay. So like the red dragonflight would be like on the west side in Kalimdor, because that's the place of life, and the red dragonflight, Alexstrasza, is the one that gives life and everything, and the light and all that kind of stuff, right? So then on the east side you'd have the black dragonflight, which is all about death, and then the blue dragonflight lives up in Northrend probably, but every now and then they come down and start freezing shit on both sides, and nobody likes the blue dragonflight. And the green dragonflight hangs around the southern isles with the trolls and the goblins and the poison shit. But then you have the Silithids, or the Zerg. Maybe the Silithids learn from the Zergs and they become more powerful too, because they're like the ancient versions. It's like, kind of like when you dig up an old virus from the Arctic and nobody has the antibodies for it, right? So like they can like control certain powerful warlocks and humans and things like that, and they take over people's minds. They take over dragons, and they start making dragons get all freaky looking and like insectoid with like insect winged dragons, and I don't know, crazy shit. Crazy shit starts happening. With the Terrans and the Protoss bringing their technology to the dwarves and the gnomes, which they already like technology. They like shooting guns. They like building robots. They have like futuristic technology to work with now, and they use it against crazy dragons and shit. And like magic would be really far more advanced on Azeroth, because that's pretty much all they do, the ones that survived. And like the Tarns learned from the Cataclysm to like keep the world more stable. That's why they made their whole place more environmentally friendly. So you have like elves with lightning bows and laser sights and explosive tipped arrows and kind of things like that. And you have dwarves with like laser rifles and plasma cannons and futuristic weaponry. But like you get weapon upgrades and like holographic sights and underbarrel grenade launchers and things. I'm thinking this could be the way things turn out. Anyway, if anybody knows anything about the lore or anything that I've gotten wrong and you want to correct me or tell me where things would be better, like panda stuff, I don't know how that would all fit into it or whatever. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like Tanaris being all like green, and the salt flats, which you can't really grow anything with salt, so maybe it's like a lake, a big lake. It's pretty much like a new Cataclysm. Everything is totally different and new. You've never played it before. All of the dungeons will be there, but there'll be different things in them, different reasons to go there. Oh man, just think about it. 1,000 Needles, they have like huge waterfalls coming off the top of those 1,000 Needles instead of it being all dry and deserty. I don't know where the water would come from, but it would come from the top. Maybe there's like big floating islands like in that movie. Alright, I'm trying to ramble, so I'm going to end the video here. Let you think about this. Good day.